Hello fellow football connoisseurs and welcome to the Quick Take. In this video I will explain why I believe Pochettino should be sacked, along with explaining why he's not the only one to blame, whilst providing a pathway forward for Chelsea to take in order to reshape the future of the club for the better. Before I continue, I would like to quickly remind you I am running a giveaway with OwnASaber.com where at 15,000 subscribers you could be in with a chance at winning the King of London lightsaber, the perfect saber for every Chelsea fan. 3 participants will be chosen and all you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and check the pinned comment down below for more information. And with that, on with the video. In the intro, I highlighted the fact that although Poch does inherit a lot of the blame for what has transpired this season, he is not the sole contributor to our downfall. That, I believe, is a responsibility shared by Paul Winstanley and Laurence Stewart, the co-sporting directors who were given the power to decide the future of the club. Paul Winstanley joined the club from Brighton alongside Graham Potter on the 15th of November 2022. Before that, he was a match analyst for Derby, and before that, the performance manager for Wigan. Laurence Stewart, on the other hand, is arguably more experienced, having worked a range of roles across different clubs. Performance manager at Manchester City between 2014 and 2016, a scout for Everton before becoming involved in the scouting for the Red Bull multi-club network, a role he held until July of 2020, where he joined Monaco, become the club's sporting director, and then technical director the following year. It is my belief that these two have made relatively poor decisions since their appointments, specifically regarding the manager search that began following the sacking of Graham Potter. Winstanley and Stewart, over a period of roughly 2 months, met with and interviewed a number of different managers, including of course Julian Nagelsmann and Luis Enrique. However, after much deliberation, they decided Mauricio Pochettino was the best candidate for the job, stating, "Mauricio's experience, standards of excellence, leadership qualities and character will serve Chelsea Football Club well as we move forward. He is a winning coach who has worked at the highest levels in multiple leagues and languages. His ethos, tactical approach and commitment to development all made him the exceptional candidate." Since the appointment of the Argentinian coach, there has been a very clear lack of progress in terms of development of the club's ability to compete within the Premier League. We still struggle when faced against low blocks, the attack is stagnant, the midfield has been sorely mismanaged, the defensive structure is all over the place, and the focus of the squad has been built around the wrong player. Many have argued injuries have had a role in Chelsea's inability to find any real momentum this season, and I do understand. Losing key players like Reece James and Ben Chilwell, Marc Cucurella, Wesley Fofana, Romeo Lavia, Christopher Nkunku, and Carney Chukwuemeka will obviously weaken a side, but this doesn't excuse our lackluster tactical approach to games. I would understand and be more sympathetic if I could see the team attempting to play a certain way, but because of the missing key players, it's missing a cutting edge. The biggest problem is we see none of this, but we're told we are, constantly by Poch after games. How many times have we heard the team played well? The boys gave everything. The performance was good. Sometimes that's football. We were unlucky. There is no accountability. Instead, we get disingenuous statements designed to relieve pressure from the squad and the manager. The problem is, we are not blind and we have seen what a capable team looks like. We can see quite clearly the issues the team has, and I don't think it's entirely down to the age of the squad. Young players can be coached to follow direct instructions, patterns of attack, movements to create space, correct decisions to be made in the final third, and yet we've seen none of this. I also understand the concerns fans may have regarding the hiring and firing approach in terms of building a long-term sustainable future. For that, I'd say neither Graham Potter, Frank Lampard, nor Mauricio Pochettino have been adequate appointments. Graham Potter was highly inexperienced at the top level of football when he arrived, and it showed. Frank Lampard's appointment was more of an attempt of instilling some good feeling back into the side at the tail end of a dead season. Mauricio Pochettino, although highly rated by the British media and respected for his time with Tottenham, failed to win anything of note with the London club, and his time at PSG will forever be remembered as a time of expectations unmet, failing to work with Mbappe, Neymar and Messi, along with the failure he found in the Champions League, the Coupe de France, and in away fixtures. The football he implemented was poor and hard to watch at times. Does this sound familiar? This is the person, after 2 months of searching, Paul Winstanley and Laurence Stewart decided Chelsea needed. So, what exactly needs to change? First, a massive shift in strategy going forward. Chelsea's most successful years were under a time where poor results were not permissible. You won, or you're out the door. I believe a hybrid of this system, of this way of thinking, mixed with a long-term vision, would work very well. You cannot have a team who's yet to discover what it means to be world-class, formidable athletes led by a coach who's also inexperienced and enables subpar performance levels and lives off of individual moments of brilliance. To do that, the current sporting directors, along with the manager, needs to leave. The sooner the better, for I don't want the foundation of this squad to be built on the back of losers and weak-minded individuals. We need a singular director of football, someone who's prepared to work with the coach in terms of shaping a squad ready to compete. These players cannot get comfortable losing with the belief they played well. It happens. They were unlucky. Man City haven't won 5 out of the last 6 league titles because they were lucky. They have a world-class sporting director in Aitor Begiristain, a world-class coach in Pep Guardiola who demands excellence everywhere in training and on the field. Prior to Man City, Begiristain was the sporting director for Barcelona between 2003 and 2010, a period where they achieved 4 league titles, 2 Champions Leagues, 3 Supercopa de Españas, a Super Cup and a Club World Cup. Chelsea needs someone of that calibre, of that experience to guide the club back on track. Begiristain's current Man City contract ends in the summer of 2025, the same time Pep Guardiola's contract expires, and it's believed the Spaniard isn't going to renew. Whether Chelsea can wait another season is up for debate. There are other potential options who are available, including the former Borussia Dortmund sporting director Michael Zorc, who spent nearly 24 years with Dortmund, working behind the scenes diligently. In that time, they won 3 league titles, 3 DFB Pokal Cups, and 3 DFL Super Cups, whilst competing against the powerhouse that is Bayern Munich. Their recruitment during this time is also well respected, signed the likes of Lewandowski, Haaland, Ousmane Dembele, Sancho, Aubameyang, and Gundogan, just to name a few. Zorc is currently a member of the supervisory board for Odesso SE. Getting him out of this position could prove challenging. Chelsea hope to retain Michael Edwards, a key component in Liverpool's resurgence. However, after becoming a non-executive director for Ludonautics, a sports advisory company, it is believed he won't return to any sporting director role anytime soon. Another option could be Andrea Berta, the sporting director for Atletico Madrid, who has overseen a number of great signings, including Griezmann, Oblak, Llorente, Rodri, and Diogo Jota, to name a few. Under his watch, as a technical and sporting director, Madrid have won 2 league titles, a Supercopa de España, a Europa League title, and a Super Cup. I believe it's also wise to mention Berta has a fantastic relationship with Jorge Mendes, the agent for some of football's biggest stars. Out of the names mentioned, of course Begiristain would be the most ideal candidate, but it requires a near 18-month wait. Zorc will most likely turn down an offer, similarly to how Michael Edwards turned down our offer previously. Therefore, I believe the strongest candidate available to Chelsea right now would be Andrea Berta. And now we come to the coach, the all-important role. This is not an easy decision, for at the moment, there are a number of great coaches in world football today, but most of them are employed. Most of them. Some of you may remember, but my first ever manager breakdown video centered around the former Bayern Munich and Germany head coach Hansi Flick. Watching that video back, it's mind-blowing how far I've come in a relatively short space of time. I'm also reminded by how dominant Bayern's side really were. Of course, Flick did struggle with international football, but myself, and now current head coach for the German national team Julian Nagelsmann, believe there is a massive difference between club and international football. With club football, you're able to work with the players each and every single day. You have more time to develop a greater feeling as to the squad's true strengths and weaknesses. You also have far more opportunities to implement philosophies and a vast array of tactical instructions. Players can be signed and sold to shape the perfect team, a luxury not afforded to international football. What I propose is this. We offer Hansi Flick a contract until the summer with an option for 1 more year. At that point, we can evaluate the manager market and decide whether or not we want to continue with Flick or appoint another manager. If we don't decide to continue with Flick, I believe we should explore either Xabi Alonso, Julian Nagelsmann, or Robert De Zerbi. If we decide to activate the 1-year clause within Flick's contract, he will stay until the summer of 2025, the same time Pep Guardiola's contract runs out at Man City. Whether Pep would be willing to join another Premier League side would be another question. As for the 3 names mentioned, Xabi Alonso is currently unbeaten with Bayer Leverkusen this season, with 23 wins and 3 draws in all competitions. He is certainly one of the best managers in the world. According to some reports, it is believed Bayern Munich will push for Alonso's signature at the end of the season, which isn't much of a surprise. Anything good that emerges in the Bundesliga, which isn't already at Bayern, eventually joins the Bavarians. Julian Nagelsmann's current Germany contract ends at the culmination of the Euros. It's no secret I rate Nagelsmann incredibly highly, and although he turned down an initial offer from Chelsea during the manager search following Graham Potter's dismissal, perhaps he may have had a change of heart. At that time, Chelsea was still finding its feet, and with the appointment of a new director of football, and with Todd Boehly stepping back from the football side of Chelsea, Nagelsmann may feel the structure is now more balanced than it was before, and less interfered with. It is believed the German had also expressed concerns with the current recruitment strategy within the club. Although I would expect this to now change, as moving past the summer, it is believed the number of outgoings and incomings will reduce, providing the coach with a far more stable squad to work with. Finally, I mentioned Robert De Zerbi, a manager whose breakdown I am yet to release. De Zerbi's Brighton have been seen to suffer this season somewhat, which is understandable following the loss of 2 key players in Alexis Mac Allister and Moises Caicedo. Despite this, De Zerbi's tactical prowess is rated highly by his peers, with Pep Guardiola describing the Italian as the next Man City manager. Some may argue De Zerbi is best suited to our current squad, with former players Mykhailo Mudryk, Levi Colwill and Moises Caicedo already used to working under the Brighton boss, although whether or not we should do business with Brighton ever again is up for debate. In terms of priority, I will place Nagelsmann at the top, Alonso second, and De Zerbi third. This squad is filled to the brim with highly technical players who are currently being utilised as ground coverers. All 3 managers mentioned prioritise their team's ability to control games through neat passing networks, taking advantage of the technical quality within the side. Nagelsmann is as tactically astute as they come, implementing a vast array of formations over the years. The 3-1-2-2 at Hoffenheim, the 3-4-3 at Leipzig, and a variation of the 4-2-3-1 at Bayern. Alonso uses a 3-4-3, a system reliant on fast technical wingbacks and intelligent midfielders in the pivot. Alonso likes his players to make space for themselves, usually through dragging other players out of position before springing a trap to begin a devastating attack. De Zerbi, on the other hand, is one of the better tacticians in the Premier League, implementing a 4-2-3-1 which moulds and forms different shapes when in possession. His philosophy is all about drawing in the press from the opponents before punishing them with the space created. He loves to create vertical overloads with the 2 centre-backs, 2 pivot players, and the striker dropping deeper to sit next to the number 10. This allows for quick, direct football through the middle before a ball is played out wide and chances galore. All 3 managers would be suitable for what Chelsea are trying to build, a sustainable, enjoyable product ready to compete in the toughest league in world football. I would like to provide an honourable mention to Sporting's Ruben Amorim, another manager who I believe would be an excellent candidate for the job some point down the line. And that's about it. Who would you choose out of Nagelsmann, Alonso or De Zerbi? Should we wait a year and try and complete a double sweep for Begiristain and Guardiola? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like the video, like, comment and subscribe. I've been The Quick Take and I will catch you on the next one. See you later.